7 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. It's November the 16th, regular meeting. In the absence of the mayor, I will have a motion on the floor. Moved by John Jeffrey, seconded by Brian Klosky. Motion to appoint Councillor Debbie Klosky to chair the November 16th, 2021 regular meeting in the absence of the mayor. All in favor? Carried.
Good evening, everybody. Does any member of council have any pecuniary or financial interest? You will do so at the time. We have the minutes of our last meeting, November the 2nd. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please?
Moved by Debbie Kuczynski, seconded by Ted Brown. Motion to approve minutes of that meeting held on November 2nd, 2021.
Discussion, all in favor? Carried. On to the reports. Bob, you're up.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna go off a little more. I left my paper copy home.
I will give you this one if you want.
Okay, that makes me a little bit easier. Thank you. All right, on the fire front, October 27th, public AED program installation with Rob Norris. We hooked one up with the new case, the new heater at the Round Lake Fire Hall. And we were starting to look at what training we want to do, when we want to do it, etc. But it looks like everything's going to be on hold till early spring. October 28th, we had a fire prevention chapter meeting, a virtual meeting. The 29th, again, we met with Rob and we found a new way of installing the new boxes and we installed it into the Killaloe Fire Hall. October 30th, we had the Knights and Firefighters Association gun draw. Pictures have been sent to the paper, etc. So we're hoping to show those will be in the paper this week. November 4th, I was called to the hall to move trucks around because we're doing a garage door replacement. All the parts were coming, they come back from Texas, the company had them, they brought them up from, I think they're near Aurora, and they're starting to replace the panels and the doors. And as they're opening up the individual units, they're finding that one's bent, this one kicked in, that was not built right, etc., etc. So they went through a handful of them, and they said that was going to be the end of it because they all have to go back again. Now, what they did do for us at that point was they got rid of the candy stripe door. They made it look at least like it's a usual garage door that would match. So you have the regular windows and you have the red, no white stripes or anything. So that's where that ended up on November the 4th. November the 11th, of course, we had the Remembrance Day ceremony. November 13th, that's Saturday, we had the structure fire at Mike's Tires. Now, that's what it was called in as, but it was in reality, I was talking with Mike, and they'd had a roof leak up there, and they were patching the roof and using heat as usual for the rubber or the asphalt, whatever, and caught on fire. They put a hose on it and a fire extinguisher and had it actually extinguished by the time we got there. We checked the roof out and everything else, and the fire was out for sure. There's some damage to it because they ripped off the face shell on it and stuff like that to work it, but there's no real serious monetary problem with that at all. November 30th, I've included the resignation letter from Julia Orlowska. Very nice young lady we hired earlier in the year. She was a graduate at the college, and she was also certified by the OFMEM. And she may be back in the area, but in the interim, she bought a house, and as of December 1, she's been living at Petawawa. The chances of her coming back in 1 year are almost nil, or I would have given her a leave of absence. She should make 2-3 years before she's back. So we'll reconsider at that time if she's still interested. And I will provide a letter of recommendation to Steve Knott, who's the chief up at Petaluma. One other item that just got added today, I got a call, well, actually, I got an email, came in this morning, but it ended up in spam, so I didn't see it till 5 to 3, but it was a meeting I had to go to at 3 o'clock at the Killaloe Fire Hall with Wade Construction and Dale. And apparently that sending back to Texas thing isn't going to work. They're no longer honoring the doors. They're no longer going to take anything back or anything like this. So it's a big hubbub right now. If we talked about some of the possible options there, if we're not going to get any cooperation from the company or the manufacturer, what can we do? Well, we haven't opened all of the panels yet. We took an eyeball at the doors. 5 of the panels have dents in them that are mounted right now. So we're hoping that we can grab at least 5 panels to replace those. The peeling paint has seemed to cessated at this particular point and can be touched up fairly readily. Okay, it's not going to be a nice 4-coat paint job, but we can manually fix those up. They're thinking of keeping panels for us for future use, etc., not sending them back in case some accident does occur or something along this line. Talked with Dale. We looked at the panels because of different shipments. Now, it shouldn't have happened if you're using a paint coat, but there are different colors in the panels. They're close, but if you're up at them, that panel's darker than the next one. That was lighter than the one below that. So we do have issues on there. So I don't know what we will have as a final product on this, but it doesn't look like the company that is producing the doors is going to be of any assistance on it at all. One thing I wanted to get going here too, where am I on next page over here? Okay, latest truck acquisition. You know that we did get a truck from Madawaska Valley through a council. We purchased it for $5,000 with a lot of the gear that was already on it. And what I had talked with Janice on was the fact that this truck would probably be better situated at the municipal garage, because now you will actually have a pumper. I will call it a frontline pumper, although under fuss, technically it's not because it's more than 25 years old. But if it's a first on scene vehicle, it's a full pumper. And she has agreed that if it fit in there, that we could send the new pumper, well, it's new one, the one we recently acquired. It is a 1990. And then we can bring the tanker down to the new home. Okay, so I just wanted to put that in front of all you. I'm not doing this because Janice isn't here today and saying, give me a vote, I need 3 foot numbers or whatever. She's aware of this. Sue would confirm that.
Okay.
Okay, so once it's ready, now the truck basically is ready as a truck. We're still loading up with equipment. We have to figure out how all the levers work. Labeling on the truck is a bit light. It's not that difficult, but we have to train everybody on it. And then we do need to modify the garage just a smidge with the wheel chocks have to be changed on it. We actually, the wheelbase is longer to the back on the truck we're going to take up there. It's a 5-minute job. We have the truck, the chocks that we used in Killaloe Hall. Because I actually have, when I started measuring them, I actually have 4 trucks that I could fit in that garage. But that's the one we talked about. She agreed with it. Madawaska Valley convinced her that it's a great truck, so she's happy with that. So if there's no issues with that. The next thing I'd like to do, I put down here in the wording KHR warehouse. Now, if you're looking at the old Killaloe Fire Hall, right now we have roads in there where they're bringing in equipment and machines and storage of gear and whatever. We have the community development officer bringing in gear there and storing it there and whatnot, and that's fine. We have the Firefighters Association has got, you know, their signage there and a lot of the stuff that they would give away at their draws and whatever else. And Dale has assets manager. He's got furniture that's being stored there and whatnot. So it's a good storage shed. And I'd like if we could maybe to call it our warehouse or something, because I don't know how many times I gotta say, no, it's not the old firehouse, it's the new firehouse or whatever. And through, I think, just using the word warehouse, it covers what it's doing, and I have a lot of this problems. So if we're good with that in principle, CEMC is simple enough. October 28th and November 9th, we had EOCG meetings. The numbers, Renfrew County and District as of November 15th, confirmed cases at 850, resolved cases at 829, and deaths at 10. Ontario as of November 15th, confirmed cases 608,000, deaths at 9,937. So we're quickly approaching that 10,000 number. Excuse me, nationally confirmed cases at 1.76 million, deaths at 29,376. Internationally, as of, I didn't change that to the 15th. Okay, that was November 15th as well. And there we go. Confirmed cases at 254 million, resolved cases at 229 million, and deaths at over 5 million at 5,118,838. That's what I have.
So I'll open the floor. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Bob? Right.
Yeah, just a question, Bob. So the old fire hall in Killaloo here,
You mean the warehouse?
yeah, does the building have a sign or wording on it saying fire hall or anything?
No, it has been removed. It's actually going to be put on the back of the new fire hall. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. So there's no lettering on it at all.
Because that would help, yeah, you know, I can see people, when was that the fire hall, was this the fire hall?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I had a question from a taxpayer. When do we take the sign down, new fire hall coming?
Well, the one that says the future site of the KHR Fire Hall?
Yeah, it's actually a construction sign. I was talking to my wife that the other day. The contractor, Waycon, did pull up all the turtle self and stuff. So it's getting very close to being finished. Now, we're still on contract with them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, until we get to the 95% substantiation level, and there's still issues like the doors and the water filtration system are the two big ones that are still outstanding, plus a bit of lighting outside the front, before they'll get their 95%. At that point, I would expect them to go. Technically, if MOT wanted to be nasty, they can come up and say, well, you didn't get permission to put it here and whatnot, but they know it's a temporary sign. Okay, it will come down. Exactly when, I'm not sure.
I just had someone email me on it. He said he would use the file.
Anybody else? Any comments or questions? There you go, Bob.
Thank you.
No problem. Have a good evening. Dean,
If you want to let Chris go first, she has to. okay.
I think Chris has to stay as well. You have to stay for an interim.
No, so I'm gonna give it to Sue and then Sue's gonna.
Okay, then Sue will look after it. Okay, well then if you want, you should. Okay.
Okay, so Remembrance Day, event was well attended. We got great feedback from the community. I think it was just really nice to do something in person again. We didn't have obviously our traditional meal inside here, but everyone was just happy that we did do the ceremony outside. Special thanks to our honored guests and then of course the Works Department for helping out with the road blocking and everything. The electric vehicle charging stations, things are finally happening. We have the locations confirmed, as you can see in the little diagram here. It says building 177. It shows where the locations are. They've done the locates to figure out where the power is. And I've been told pending no conflict, the contractor can start work anytime. And they're hoping to install this week or next. You can see the little diagram here in the bottom of what they're going to look like. It's basically a pole with two charging stations on each side, so someone can actually charge a vehicle on both sides of the pole.
I'm glad we got a meeting Thursday, I was just gonna bring it up again.
Okay. The damaged sign, so it has been removed. Talking with Ken, he says the damage is currently being assessed. And he's going to determine the salvageability of the sign. It's not looking great with the damage that was done to it, but he's gonna try to salvage it. Once options and pricing are determined, I will report that back to council.
When did this happen?
The sign, it was during hunting season, it would have been,
It would have been, I guess, the first week. It was, I think, was it the Monday that I seen it?
yes.
I seen it when I was coming.
Which, was it?
The one, it's on County Road 58 near Jacks Lake.
Okay.
Yeah. It
So
was
it,
when I was coming home, I seen it.
so it was actually spray painted and shot with a gun.
That's what you look at.
The Killu BIA, so they're, sorry, I should say next weekend, brush clearing next weekend to install the new sign. So where this Killu Sports Plus is, we've got to clear a bunch of brush there. So we've got a volunteer group coming in next weekend to clear that all out. We're moving forward with the formalization, and that's what this document here is all about, the key steps. I just wanted council to see kind of the steps going forward and what we're doing. This is a momentous occasion for the BIA because although we have been doing stuff with the BIA, now we're actually formalizing as a BIA with the municipality. So as you can see, on page 26 here, there is a quick, the 9 steps. We are currently at step 6, so we've established the need. We've communicated with all interested parties. We've established a steering committee, which is our BIA. We've established the goals and objectives. We've prepared a preliminary budget. And so now what we're doing is establishing the boundary of where it's going to be. And we'll be going door to door using calculation based on our budget to tell them what their contribution each person would be in this catchment area. And then once we figure that out, we'll by December 2021 or earlier, we will be bringing a formal request to the municipality to actually formalize as a BIA, after which we will have to notify everyone in the proposed BIA area. But since will have already gone door to door, there'll be very little, should be very little pushback because anyone, we basically are only going to put people in that area who we want to be in that area. And then finally, there'll be the passing of a municipal bylaw. So this package here, it's pretty quick synopsis. It can tell you in more detail where we're going and what we've done, but just so council is aware, we are quite a bit ahead of schedule. I didn't think we'd be where we are, but we are very well could by January have the bylaw, if council approves it and formally be a BIA, which would be a huge accomplishment. So stay tuned for more details on that. And if you do have any questions about this or anything in here, you can always contact me or ask after my presentation. The Killu Pathways Park. So trail mapping has officially begun. If you go to the homestead, you'll see there's flagging tape. I walked with the gentleman today and we determined where all the stations are going to go. It's pretty exciting. You know, when you're thinking about everything being an idea and actually walking through the trail and thinking, you know, next week this is going to actually be a trail and this is all happening, which is very exciting. So it's kind of a cool thing. Construction of the trails is going to be, of the rough trails is expected to start early, or so this week and early next. So what they're going to do is come in with small machines, clear up the path using the least invasive method. And then they're going to have a rough trail. And then in the spring, we'll put down the rest of the limestone and install the stations so that spring 2022, the trail will be able to be used and more accessible. You'll be able to use it during the winter, but it'll be just roughed in. Whereas with the limestone, it'll be more accessible. So this is really, this is just the beginning of this project. And I'm very happy to report that we're actually getting this going. And so we're going to be looking in the next couple of weeks to be having some sort of ceremony there. We've got some donations and things that we're going to be figuring out. So we're going to bring all the donations and all of the event in one day. So I will report back to council likely this week with a date and to have the media there and do something special to kind of kick off the opening of this trail system and of the park. Other updates, the newsletter will be in the mailboxes this week. Rural Rewards, the next draw is November 18th. And then we have one more coming up for Christmas. Closing contest for Christmas starts December 1st. The Tree of Peace and the open house is December 9th. Keely Haggy Richards Christmas dinner, December 11th, and the Santa Claus parade is December 11th. That's my report.
Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Not this report, I missed the last meeting. I just want to congratulate you and the BIA on the Halloween party at the park there.
Thank you.
It was really good. Way better than I was expecting. Just COVID stuff.
Thank you very much.
It's good. You had a comment?
Yeah, request for donations of materials is underway.
Yes,
Why do you ask us for wood or for crushed or something?
for crusher dust.
Crushed gravel for your trails?
Well, Dean has kindly provided me with a couple avenues to be able to reach out for donations.
Okay.
We are working on, until it's finalized, I don't want to say anything, but we do have a pretty good lead on hopefully some lumber being able to being donated, and hopefully we'll be able to get the limestone crusher dust. The limestone and crusher dust is really what we're looking for right now specifically because they need a little bit of it to mix in and basically put down for the trail so that it kind of, it's like a glue. And then when we get more, then we just throw it down and pack it when everything's ready. And so that's what the donations are for that. That's what it was referring to.
I just thought it would be some crushed.
Right?
I'm just looking at the diagram here, Chris. So there's two separate trails.
Yes, so the
Do
first.
you have is there a distance? Do you have distance on it?
Yep, so the Fit Trail, which is the 10 stations for low impact activities, will be the inner trail. It's 0.4 kilometers. It probably will end up being a little bit longer than that just because of the way it worked out. The longer trail is 0.6 kilometers, which is the reading and art walk. So by the end of next week, those both trails will be roughed in. You'll be able to walk on them, and you'll be able to see more of the path. And then the only difference will be there'll be little, the reading trail won't have things to the side, but the fitness trail will have 10 pads basically where the stations will go when we install them. So in total, there's a 1 kilometer of trails in there, and I walked it today, and it's going to be really awesome. So something to look forward to.
Good. Good stuff. Good. Does anybody else have anything to press? I just have, I want to thank you, Chris, again for the Remembrance Day. The way that it was put together was really, really well done. I did get a text, and I'm going to read it. It came from Sandy Brewski. She said, "Hi, Debbie, I want to say how much I appreciated the Remembrance Day ceremony this morning. You did a wonderful job, and I particularly liked the Chesterton quote at the end. Please thank your team for their efforts. It was very moving and poignant for me. My mother's two youngest brothers were both killed at the age of 20, 1 year apart in the Second World War. Both air gunners, and her dad served in Europe for the full 6 years of the war. It's so important to stop and think about this, and your service this morning did just that." So I wanted to make sure that you were aware that, you know, and this was probably within an hour of me getting back home after the service. So kudos. Very, very well. Yeah, it's very well done.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Well, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
For Harold, too.
What's that, sorry?
For Harold, I'll print something off.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too, Dean.
Okay, so Church Street paving is now complete. Really looks good. Have quite some good comments and feedback on it. The sidewalk concrete is the core here in the village, and it's now complete. Rushing continues on Wave Settlement Road between High Country and Doyle Mountain. We're just doing regular road maintenance, grading, tow patch, and opening culverts when we can. One of our international plow trucks is in Pembroke for repairs, and it might be there maybe possibly in 2 weeks. They're having a hard time getting an electrical part for it. And we're the third truck in line to get it. So there's another 2 municipalities in front of us, so they're hoping within 2 weeks, but it's been a week now, so hopefully. And the new, that, I was talking to him there as well, the new tandem plow truck that we had ordered is not gonna be built till February.
Oh, my.
They said there's no, the state, that their plant in the States shut down, and then it reopened back up and shut down again, and they're having their time to get parts for it.
Did we have that in the budget for this year? Or is it next? So this is gonna be a next year's, okay, so yeah, not even,
No, because we anticipated it in November.
that we would
so
have it, yeah,
We would have the first payment or so, and then
yeah,
work that in next year's budget, but
no,
we might not even get it till April by the time
wow.
it's all complete. I'm not sure if any members of council had any calls or concerns or anything about the chalk wall down here with the flower shop.
No, I never heard. Unless, did Carl, did you guys hear anything?
Just as somebody was saying about some safety issues there, what happens if they're doing the chalk wall and, you know, if the car comes by or whatever, so I just wonder. What's that?
It's a county road.
Yeah, no, I was just, I thought I'd bring that up. I'm just wondering if council had any concerns or thoughts or anything like that.
No, it's all.
Okay.
The county,
Yeah,
cost sharing policy.
yeah,
Have you had a chance to look over that or anything?
yeah, I know, don't we, it's the end of the month, right, that you need to
I
have,
think it's
Is
yeah, I think it's the 30th or something.
something like
For
that,
this
yeah.
one, right?
And I know that you,
Both,
The January 14th.
both of them are January. Okay.
January 14th, you see, there's another thing. that I put on
is
your-
this the one from Lee Perkins?
Yes.
The growth related policies. I know that, for those of us, I think that we heard at the last council meeting, Stanley and John, if you remember, this was, I think, what Janice had said that you were gonna bring up because you had some concerns about it, and you had brought it up before, I think. That we, I remember we had until like the end of November, and then
And then.
now you're saying that they
Yeah,
pushed, yeah,
they're saying-
because I know that there was concerns, that you had, Dean.
Yeah, just some of them was like, well, like the 100% of the portion of the paved boulevard between curb and sidewalk, it's only 0.5 meters that they're gonna look after, so like anywhere down on Queens, anywhere on Queen Street to pass the Fresh Mart, and that'll be our responsibility.
Yeah,
So they're saying that, you know, that'd be the cost sharing, so if there was anything in the future, we would still have to pay for engineers and design because it's their road. And then we would, whatever portion that would be a cost sharing on that.
yeah, yeah,
And just some of the things, I know we do snow removal like on sidewalks, and that was always a policy. We've always had that
mhm,
in place for to look after sidewalks and snow plow and stuff, but they don't want, number 10 on page 4. It says the local municipalities shall be responsible for the maintenance of sidewalks, including snow removal, which, like, again, we always did that. But then it says on B, the loading and removal of snow from parking lanes after the county plowing as required. So if the municipality is doing this already, should we not have a cost sharing with them?
yeah,
Like if,
yeah,
if they're doing, they're telling, the county's telling the municipality that, you know, if this is passed, that we're maintaining, that we're responsible for 0.5 meters past the curb and boulevard.
mhm,
Should we have a cost sharing results for snow removal?
absolutely.
I don't know, I'm just,
I would
You know,
think,
it's-
right?
you know,
Those both, right?
that's what I mean, if they're.
Yeah.
So, but that's some of my concerns there, but that's pretty much,
Have you provided any of your concerns back?
no.
Okay,
No, I wanted to bring it to council, see if council had any
yeah.
concerns or questions as well on that.
Did you guys have a chance to review it? Okay, so we do have an extension, is what you're saying, Sue, till January?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, which is a good thing, because I think that we definitely have to.
And then again, when Sue put this on the table as well for the community growth within the county of Renfrew, that's basically, I think, we're basically doing the same thing as if we look at our asset management plan or whatever and say, you know, something has to be done in Queen Street, then we could put this down and again, it'd be a cost sharing. Because it's, again, a county road.
Yeah,
Sticking with that, I contacted the county today regarding the retaining wall by the church. So there had been an issued an RFP for design build for replacement of the wall, but it came in substantially higher than expected. So we currently are looking into prefab options to be installed, but unfortunately, it does not look like the replacement will be done until spring. So.
Right.
So getting like the draft cost policy sharing was meant like the growth of related projects. So, you know, the council ever came to them and said, you know, I think Stanley had brought up one time about maybe a section of sidewalk or something like a paved shoulder out on Simpson Pit Road, I think you brought
Yes,
up.
yeah,
That would be a cost share. So we would have to pay for that. And they would design it, and we'd have to pay for the design plus the fee from 0.5 meters into the site.
does anybody have comments or questions? Yeah. It is important, guys. You know, I think that, you know, we agree with all this, you know, we're gonna have to, when we say, you know, ask the county, you gotta remember, sometimes it'll be, well, guess what, it is a cost sharing initiative, right? So, especially if this passes, so. So we have till January, does it say January when? Oh, 14th. 14th, and our first meeting is the 4th. I think, right? So, yeah. All right. But even if we could bring it back for next meeting, or, yeah, we don't want to keep pushing it off, right? But just keep reminding us, Sue and Dee, please.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Brian?
Just a question, I don't know, Dean, if you know, so on the, say, like on that Simpsons Pit Road, where we were talking about the extending it to have a
Paved shoulder or something.
paved shoulder, no, it's not really a sidewalk, but the same as going through town.
Yeah.
So that would be our responsibility then, to
I do believe
cost wise, and
possibly
right from the edge of the road to the edge of that,
it could be up,
part in between too.
it could be up to us to
So
maintain that.
the cost would be for the municipality and, but it's still a county road.
Correct.
So now what happens when if there's an accident or someone gets hurt or something like that? Is it our, or is it the county? Whose coverage is that?
I think it would end up being both,
I
no
would
matter
say, because
what.
if it's a cost sharing,
Okay, so
it
we
would be, I would presume there'd be the liability of both the county and the municipality.
I think it would still be even if it might not be, I think, because if it's in our municipality, we'd be named anyway, right? Even though it would be a county road,
Okay,
at least I know that's,
yeah.
Yeah. yeah,
Okay, thanks.
yeah.
We're going to be cost sharing the money that we give them to fix our roads.
Yeah,
So we're giving them money to fix our roads, then they're going to want our money to build
fix
roads.
there you
So they can stick that right up there behind.
go.
Yeah, we don't give enough money.
Yeah.
So the walkway would be just right beside the paved road then?
Well, again, it's their roads, they would have to do a design and see if it would fit in there, but we would still have to pay for
They would
it.
draw the plan.
And then maintain,
Pay for the design and pay for what it costs to build it.
and then maintain it.
And
Then
possibly.
I imagine they want us to follow. Which wouldn't be the worst thing on earth. Like, I mean, if that's someplace we could help with the cost is, I mean, people do have to understand it's not the day of the storm that most of this is happening.
Yeah.
But there's many a time, there's a municipal plow truck comes out of the pit road that's going either east, west, or somewhere. I mean, if he's coming along there with the wing up, he could have it down and clean that sidewalk as he passed. So, I mean, it would be still a, you know, it wouldn't be a major cost he's coming through anyway.
In that sense, yeah,
Yeah.
when you're looking at all the other stuff prior,
But
right?
paying to put it down, Stanley, is,
Yeah,
we'd have to pay you to put the sidewalk down.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be an expensive. The engineering alone, you know, like,
that's all expensive.
it's, that won't come cheap because.
No.
You could probably pave it with gold for what they're going to want to charge you for the engineering of that, you know.
Yeah. Anything else, Dean?
Yeah, there's a couple things. The fall sampling there at our landfill sites, they should be finished and completed this week. I'm not sure if he's got the memorandum for understanding
Yeah,
for McNabb Brace.
Yeah, I
Site.
just
Take a
seen
look at
that here, yeah.
Stanley.
yeah.
So I don't know what council's thoughts about that. I know we did talk about it, I do believe, before. About the garbage and recycling getting shipped down there
Oh,
So
yes.
to the McNabb Brace site.
So this is basically they would take our recycling. And garbage.
Look on page 2, I guess, of 3. The purpose, if you look down.
Yeah,
further where it
all
says
kitchen waste.
kitchen waste recycling facilities.
So no more La Fleche? Or whatever they're called now.
GFL.
GFL?
GFL.
So no more GFL.
Okay, go there. That's the one Stanley and I and.
Yeah.
We are down.
Is that point, what, see that lease site they had there?
No, this was a meeting that Stanley and I went to, not recycle.
But we
Oh,
were
this is
the
one
lease
site.
site down by California one time.
They wanna know, I guess.
No, that's-
Okay.
Well, that's not the one.
So this one, it's not even built yet,
No, correct.
okay? All right. Okay.
This is the one they're talking about. The parish of the one in Nova Scotia.
Yes.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. So I guess what they're looking at, okay, so if you look at bottom of page 2, number 5, it's an expression of intention only. Okay, so there's no obligation, so just to let council know that you're not signing and we're locked into something.
I guess they want to know how many municipalities are going to purchase.
Yeah.
Before they actually put the shovel in the ground.
Well, it says, you know, the term, so, and the basis of the agreement, it would be like for a 20-year term, once we decide. Yeah. All right. So basically, council, what do you think? I don't know, do you need a motion soon, or, because I know it's gonna be assuming the mayor and yourself probably that will sign it. Yeah, do you need
I think
direction?
it's a great idea.
Okay. Council, can I see a show of hands that the direction be that the mayor and the CAO sign this agreement? Okay. Anything else?
No, that was it.
Does anybody have anything for Dean before we go into the bills?
It's kind of fine, just did that culvert on Annie Street.
Yep.
Just put a bump sign up. So it's filled with-
Mhm.
Congress said bump sign should have been there before they fixed it.
The only thing that I have, Dean, is, and I know you talked about, Church Street, that you're getting lots of compliments. I did get a call from Don Burkett, and he wanted me to pass on to the team. He said, you know, amazing job. So he said, please pass it on to the whole crew. So. Right.
Hi, Ted Brown, declare pecuniary financial interest of Rowan General Government number 20.
All right, we got the bills. Any comments, questions?
I was gonna comment on 23,350, but I just realized. Not listening now.
Well, it's a fire truck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true thing.
Does anybody else have any comments or questions? Seeing none? Motion on the floor?
Moved by Brian Kosky, seconded by John Jeffrey, motion to approve road and general voucher 10/2021 in the amount of $349,960.07.
Discussion, all in favor, carried.
Only thing I don't like is paying fee, 1,000 some dollars.
That's
two.
Do you have anything else in open, Dean, before? Okay, all right, so Dean's gonna stay. All right, Sue.
Okay, I have a couple of things. One being the resolution to adopt the vaccination policy.
Correct, everybody, we did have a copy of the policy that's gonna be in the draft policies. There's a motion on the floor, I believe.
Moved by Brian Kukowski, seconded by Stanley Kukowski, motion to approve policy G9, COVID-19 safety in the workplace and vaccination policy and including human resources policy.
Discussion, all in favor? Carried.
Also, I brought back the strategic plan with all the changes that council had done on our strategic plan meeting. So it's just a motion to approve and adopt it.
Yeah. Motion on the floor?
Moved by Debbie Kuplinski, seconded by John Jeffrey, motion to approve and adopt the strategic plan for 2021 to 2025.
Discussion, all in favor? Carried.
I had a request from the Santa Claus Parade, the Lions Club, looking for a donation of 300 to be given last year as well for Candy for Kids.
Okay, everybody's okay with the same? Show of hands. Okay,
Also, the Eagle Leader, their Christmas ad, we paid $160 last year, and they're looking for us to put it in the paper again.
Say that, or same price.
Same price, yeah.
everybody's okay? Show of hands. Okay,
Okay, pictures for council. So do we want to do it next meeting, the 7th or the 21st meeting?
doesn't matter,
Or do
as
you
long as we all remember.
Do you want to do it for the new year?
Doesn't matter, whatever we're,
I don't know, I'm gonna have to get somebody. Like I know Terry took them the
Yeah.
previous year.
well, if we can arrange it for next meeting,
Which is the 7th.
yeah,
Okay, and if I get it, I will tell you, so you
Yeah.
guys can all get all dressed up.
there you go.
We
Get
dressed
all
up
cleaned up.
In our hunting clothes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Blaze
I
on.
hung a deer side of my head, no deer.
Just Land Square, one of the cell towers, has we've withdrawn their application, so we only have one left on. No, because the consultation period ends on, I believe, the 18th.
Yeah.
So then CR NIS will be preparing a report for council to review
And yeah, and if anybody gets, calls, because I'm sure we all still are, just ensure that you tell them that all that information, we're passing it on to the group that's doing the study. So that's, just make sure that all the concerns and everything are addressed.
Okay,
That's it. All right. So we'll move down to correspondence. So QP Olmers, resolution third party review. AMO, all economic statement highlights. MPAC. Township of Manasval Cote. Community Futures Development. I know I seen that Janice had put, she had asked maybe Stanley if you could attend, I think. It's a webinar or
I believe Chris is saying that.
oh, okay. Yeah, it has to do with food waste reduction workshop.
Yeah. There's something that Chris is saying.
Oh, okay. I think Janice said she might sign up as well. And this is open to just anybody? I might pass it on to you. That might be interested, so, yeah. And then we have the Ottawa Valley business. Is that all the correspondence? Any unfinished business? Stanley?
I was talking with Harold Levine today. And he said to bring it up from the council and see how they felt. And if he was going to get himself in trouble by buying the topsoil that's needed at the rec center there in Brown Lake for the new field area for the
Soccer field, I think.
soccer field.
Oh, okay.
He just needs to get that confirmed. He said he'd like to get it in there this fall
Okay,
and spread it if possible.
okay.
It'll be at no charge to the municipalities. They will pay for the topsoil from bottle money there. That's from
Yeah. From all the, yeah, the LCD only.
The Brown Lake volunteers.
Mhm.
So,
Council, I think it's good. Can I see a show of hands? Perfect. Yeah, you can pass it on to him, Stanley.
so Brian, would you want to give him a call then? Hey, you're chair of rec?
Yep, sure.
And tell him that the council is okay with.
Perfect.
Go ahead whenever he has a chance. And I think he's buying the topsoil locally here. He kept that from Martin Walsh.
Oh, good, good.
And I have no idea how many loads, but obviously he said they want to spend some of that money.
Yeah, yeah, well, they do a good job there. Yeah. Any other new business? All right. So we do have to go in camera. So to those watching, thank you very much. We'll stop the online streaming and we'll be going in camera and then we'll be back.
Moved by Stanley McConkey, second by Gail Kemplinski, be resolved that council will be to a full meeting pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 is amended for the following reason. Personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees.
All in favor?